Hello everybody and welcome to Stronghold Technology Channel. My name is Chris and I'm back with another video. And in this one, it is in our series, Cyber Stronghold Series 6. This is number 6 of our series, keeping things up to date. Now, many of you may ask, why do we need to keep things up to date? The reason is because it provides bug fixes, things of that nature, patches most of the time, and we'll get to that later. I'm going to start this video off a little different. If you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, put it down in the comments that you don't know him, and I'll be glad to reach out. And with that said, now let's get into the video. The introduction of this video goes like this. You've seen that annoying little thing down here in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen that says, hey, update now. Update now. And then some people say, oh, it just does it by itself. Why do we need these things? Well, it provides fixes. It's security fixes, patching, bug fixing, and sometimes it's driver fixes. Now, we'll get into that in a little bit, and I have a lot of experience with this. I mean, a lot. I have a good amount of experience with these kind of things, and I've seen the end result of not updating. I've seen what happens. And then there's times when updating can cause issues, but we'll get into that later. Installing security updates will help you to stay secure. They'll find a manufacturer such as Linux or whoever's building the distribution, or Windows for that matter. There will be updates for the system that will improve performance most of the time. Now, these are all most of the time. These are not all the time. And I have seen instances where installing updates causes issues. It just depends. Most of the time, it fixes things. Most of the time. I'd say about 98% of the time, it fixes things. It improves performance, makes things more compatible, as well as improving your security. So in this video, that's what we're going to be looking at, the ways you, the user, can help improve on your security and reliability. Now, in this video, I wanted to really take a moment to show you what I mean. Now, in Windows, this is how you do it in Windows. If you right click on the start menu right here and you go to settings. Now, this is where, oops, that went to the wrong place. There you go. Now it's full screen. Now you can see it. If you go to Windows Update right here and then go to Advanced. Now what I'm doing, I want to show you this right here. I turn this on. The reason I turn this on, let's learn more and see how we're going to use Google. Whatever. Let's just use it. The problem with this function specifically is that the problem with this is that in this specific instance, the reason I do this is because of the place that I work. We have a lot of devices there, a lot of different things working with a lot of different other things. And sometimes they stop working. Trust me, it happens a lot more than you would think. One instance of this is docks. We have this dock, and I'm going to name the manufacturer Dell. And what has happened in the past is we'll have this dock, you'll plug it in, it'll work, and then all of a sudden, it'll just stop working completely. It'll either stop working completely or half stop working. And what I have found is that even after installing the drivers, even after that, and even after installing all these updates, it still doesn't work. So then that leads me to believe, well, okay, so if it's not the drivers, then what else could it be? Could it be the hardware? I don't know. I have yet to figure out what the problem is. I've talked to Dell. Dell doesn't even know what the problem is. Dell seems to think it's the dock, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's why I don't use them anymore. So what I did, and I have reasons for this, I would deal with these issues for hours at a time. And it wouldn't be just one, it would be 3 or 4 of them doing it at the same time. And so after I ended up updating everything, one or two of them would fix itself, but then the others wouldn't. And so it's very confusing because they're Dell laptop with a Dell dock and it still doesn't work. And so I thought to myself, I wonder if it's a driver issue. If maybe there's something broken with their driver. So what I started doing, there was a driver that I installed called the Intel, It was an Intel display driver. Now on one of them, it fixed it, but the other ones, it didn't. So one of them was fixed by updating the system. One of them was fixed by installing the Intel drivers. One of them was fixed by installing the Windows Update driver. And the other ones, nothing fixed it. So it's so inconsistent. Now, that's just an instance in an enterprise environment. This is just me. I have had a lot of issues there. So that's why I decided to go to an Anchor dock. And let me show you the Anchor docks docks are actually pretty good. And I've used these. I can honestly say they are very good. I really like them. They seem to work very well. I don't have any issues with them. And I actually got these for, I ended up getting these for, what was it? I believe like $138 a piece, which anybody who knows how much a dock costs knows that they are way more expensive than that. Okay, shop all docks and hubs. Let's see. It wasn't that one. That one's expensive. This one. I bought that one. So when I bought it, it was $139. Now, when I went to this one, the plug and play. So let's just look at this. Thunderbolt is supposed to be plug and play. USB-C is plug and play, supposedly, right? Thunderbolt is not, apparently, and I don't know why. It should be, because now the laptops we are getting use Thunderbolt 4. The old ones we have use Thunderbolt 3. All of these docks are compatible with both of those. So explain to me why it's not working. I still, to this day, don't know why it doesn't work. I haven't figured it out, because I'm like, you know what? If I have to sit there and troubleshoot if I have to troubleshoot a device for that amount of time, it's not worth my time. It's not worth me dealing with. That is one instance where I've seen where the drivers didn't work and where different drivers work. Now that's the problem, is that it's inconsistent. Yes, updates sometimes can be used for reliability, but then other times it just doesn't work. Just how it is. Now, reasons for patching and updates are bug fixes, security updates, and performance improvements, compatibility with new security and operational improvement. These are sometimes, the problem with a lot of these things is that if you're going to do just security update, it's going to sometimes not work with other things, because you need the other updates too. So that's the problem with a lot of these things, is like it's do the update. You want to do them because you want to make sure that everything is working correctly. So that's what I would recommend. Do the update. Now, things that need to be updated. Now, this is an interesting one here. I have a firewall called pfSense. Yes, y'all know that I originally had a Nighthawk router. That's what you saw in one of my other videos, but I got away from it because I was having a lot of issues with speed, with DNS queries. I changed DNS servers, it made no difference. So I got rid of that router. It's still here in my basement, but it doesn't work anymore. It's not plugged in. I use pfSense now, and a little $10 desktop my wife gave me that she bought me, and I ended up doing a video on it, installing the NICs in it and everything, and it works beautifully. So that's the first thing you update, is your router and firewall. That is the head of your network. It is the wall between you and everybody else out there, and you don't want to be directly connected to them, at least not with not a straight connection like that. You want it to pass through some kind of filtering, some kind of wall where it has to screen the traffic. Phones and tablets, oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people say, my phone don't work. Like, did you update it? No. Well, okay, why didn't you do that first? Update your stuff, people. If you will update it on a regular basis, you will be down for 5 minutes, and that's it. That is why I update as soon as I have them. I do them because it takes 5 minutes, and I am done. If you wait months, it's going to take hours to do these updates, but if you do them as they come, 5 minutes, you're done. That's what I would recommend. Don't wait till you've got 100 of them. Desktop and laptops, that's a little bit different one. Now, not only do you got to keep the updates going, you have to keep software updates as well. So that means that, like, let's say you have a program like Chrome. Let's see if it's up to date. It better be up to date, because I'm a bit, okay, y'all. So that's how you update Chrome, what you just saw me do. Now, it's supposed to do it by itself, but it rarely does. It does it, but it does it on a cycle. But I like to just update. Look at that. Look at that. How long was that? Did you see how fast that went? That went quick, dude. Do the updates. Most of the time in Chrome and web browsers especially, it fixes bugs and security holes. That's what it's for. Now, a lot of times you won't see them. If you look, just go look. In Chrome, go to the 3 dots, go to Help and About Chrome, and it's right there. And if it's got an update, it'll do it all by itself. It'll automatically update. Now, let's move on to apps and software. Now, this means apps in terms of your Android devices, your Apple devices, everything. There are updates. Most of the time, I believe Apple does it by itself. On my phone, my Android phone, my Pixel 6 Pro, I will typically do, on these kind of things, I will do like once a month, I will go in and check. So this is a good practice too. Go in once a month, put a thing on your calendar that says, every month, I check for updates on everything. That way you take like an hour or two, you're done for the whole month. You don't have to do it no more. Do that because you want to make sure that your stuff is up to date. Update update my phone once a month and it's done. It takes about, I don't know, I've seen it take 20 minutes, but it normally doesn't take that long. Let's see. But I think that if you keep the firewall update, your phones, your devices, and you keep all these things up to date, just make sure that you're updating stuff regularly and checking it. Just put a notification on your calendar. That way you know. That way you're not questioning yourself. Now, every month is what I would recommend on desktops and laptops. I would check things once a month is what I would do. That is a good practice for everything. Now, apps and software. Now, for apps and software, these are tools that you use for everyday tasks. These should be done as soon as the manufacturer releases them to you. Now, that is a lot of, that's very important because those updates will always contain security patching. Always. Mind you, there will always be performance upgrades too, but there will always be security updates. Always. I've never seen one that didn't have a security update. Now, I want to go into a disclaimer here. Because of the things I've seen, patching should help most machines and software run better. But, this is a big but, on occasion, it makes things worse. I have seen instances where updates were installed and it bricked the device. And by bricking, I mean the device locks up and doesn't do anything. It blue screen. The BSOD, as they call it, blue screen of death. I've seen that happen. You reboot, sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's not. My recommendation is this. Some of the IT people are going to disagree with me, but I don't care. That's fine. If you want to disagree with me, disagree with me. If I have an image that is more than, say, 3 years old, I like to re-image it because there are so many updates that go in. You're applying patching to a device that is 3 years old. The hard drive is 3 years old already. It has a ton of read and writes, especially where I work. They copy files in and out all the time, and what ends up happening from my experience is that sometimes those files corrupt the operating system files. I've seen it happen, and the system just stops functioning. Now, I have spare computers ready to go if that happens, but it took me years to get it to that point to where I could do that. I had to really monitor the amount of computers I had and really buckle down and choose spare ones that were pretty decent, and then just re-image them, put a device license on them for Microsoft Office, and done. So that is the one thing I can say, is that sometimes it makes it much worse, but I'd say about 98% of the time it makes it much better. Sometimes you don't notice any difference. So about 1.5% of the time you don't notice a difference. About half of the time, about 0.5% is the ones that are kind of out of range, that it just breaks everything. But that's rare. That doesn't happen very often. Now, for the conclusion, as you can see by the information above, it is very important to do patching because of the security risks that are out there now. Think about this. All of the security risks that you are seeing in this world now, all these companies getting hacked, all these people getting hacked, at some point there has to be a breaking point where it says, okay, everybody, you got to do your updates now. You have to. There are some that will hurt. Patching can hurt, I will admit it, but I would highly recommend doing the minimum of security update just so your system stays secure. Do that. As an example, there's a company called CrowdStrike. Now, y'all are about to see what I'm talking about here. Okay, CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike was a company right here. What ended up happening was, this was in July. I remember this very well, where they released a update on a Friday. On a Friday now, everybody in IT that has ever been in IT for any length of time knows on Fridays you don't write nothing. You don't change nothing. You read everything, because if something breaks, your weekend is gone. You're going to be there during the weekend working on it. But if you let it wait till Monday, wait till Monday. Now, faulty update to its Falcon sensor software caused a widespread IT outage. The update crashed millions of Windows systems, causing the blue screen of death. And who do you think had to manually intervene to fix all that? You know, the IT guys, of course. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters out there that do this for a living, because it can be a hard job, man. It really can. Fun, but it's hard. And so that's what I'm telling you, is that there are times when you don't install updates, and on a Friday you don't. Most of the time you'll be fine, but what if you're not? Yeah, you don't want your weekend shot because you did an update. So with CrowdStrike, they made some mistake. They didn't properly verify things. They didn't do things exactly the way they were supposed to. So right here, you can see it right here. It says CrowdStrike discovered the error within hours and released a fix. They released a fix, but the damage had been done. Right here, computers needed to be fixed manually. So it took a long time. Most IT departments, I'm the only IT guy there. For 400 people, I'm the only guy, the only one. Now, I have a controls team that helps me sometimes from time to time, at least with what they can, like minor things, but all the major stuff I do. And so I can tell you that I would have been so infuriated with this company. I would have been horribly mad at them. And I would say, hey, look, y'all are going to have to do something to fix this because this is unacceptable. So I don't know what ended up becoming of it or how these companies dealt with it, but I can tell you that would be a pain in the butt. The issue is the patch was not thoroughly tested by a third party or blocked or looked at properly. So think about that. They had this opportunity to fix it, but they didn't fix it. Everybody, as you can see, I know this is a longer video, but this is one of the most important ones I've released because it deals with security. Security is so important now. It's absolutely imperative. Not only will it help your security, but it'll help your performance of your machine about 99.5% of the time. It will help most of the time. Sometimes you'll just notice no difference, but most of the time it'll help. So everybody, that's the end of the video. I thank y'all for watching. And like I said in the beginning, if you don't know Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior, put it down in the comments and I will reach out to you directly. I will show you, I will talk to you, I will help you know who He truly is. And everybody, until the next time I make another video, everybody, peace.